they wouldn't hesitate to dish out violence. And the violence was such that it could only be a perverted mind that was doing it or controlling it. And it was bound to lead in the end, if it wasn't stopped, or if it hadn't already happened, it was bound to lead in the end to murder.
Charlie Richardson believed he could get away with murder. In South Africa, he was named in a sensational trial. The victim was Thomas Waldeck, a mineral prospector who had persuaded Charlie to invest tens of thousands of pounds in a mining venture. Once again, Charlie began to suspect he'd been conned. The court was told a contract killer called Harry Prince had been sent to Johannesburg. Prince teamed up with Charlie's men on the spot.
Prince took the gun, we went to Waldeck's house, parked the car outside the house. We go up to the front door, and the front door was glass, all glass. Prince rang the bell, the light come on, you could see Waldeck standing behind you, and Prince just let go. I think it was about 9 bullets he put into him. Heard Mrs. Waldeck scream, done a duck with a car, got back to the house at Victory Park. About 3 days later, the police pulled us in, me and Prince, released us for lack of evidence. But the police said they knew it was Prince, because when they were sitting down, he sweated so much it went through the sole of his shoes to the floor, panicking.
Harry Prince vanished, but Johnny Bradbury was tried for the murder and sentenced to hang at Pretoria's maximum security prison. He carried out his last orders for Charlie Richardson. When the trial ended in May 1966, Bradbury was put on death row to await the rope. His sentence was eventually commuted to life, and he served 11 years.
How long were you actually on death row?
10 months, 9 days.
And were there people hanged while you were there?
Oh yeah, I think it was about 80 blacks and 4 whites in my cell, and all went.
While Bradbury was on death row, British detectives flew down to see him. In statements, he confirmed crucial details about the torture and beatings and gave the police their first inside view of the Richardson's gang.
Calling for time, and the final whistle only seconds away. England get the ball upfield, and Hurst goes through on his own.
On the day that England beat Germany in the World Football Cup final, a Saturday, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I briefed a team, I think it was of 60 officers, and out I went and did all raids. Charlie was in bed, sound asleep. So we told him we were going to arrest him, and we searched his premises and found indications of fraud, passport offences and things like that. But he would insist on shaving before he came away. And all the time I could see he was thinking to himself, how am I going to get away from this? And in the bathroom when he was shaving, I said, no, Charlie, forget it. We are not going to escape. We will make sure of that.
Time has not dulled Johnny Bradbury's memory of his horrendous acts, nor has it sharpened his sense of morality. There's little trace of remorse, just bafflement.
But the things we done, I can't believe it myself sometimes. It was unreal. We could go and hit a bloke or put him on a torture box or break his toes with a pair of pliers or pull his teeth out. Didn't bother us. Charlie had a bar around the yard. That was our, where we had a policeman there for a drink or where someone was tortured. You can't sit there all night and dying of thirst. And then we used to have just a brandy or whiskey we all drank then. and just have a 5-minute smoke break and start again. It was a recognised thing. More like a factory, you know, on a tea break. Can't keep going on empty stomach. We used to send round to Armitt's, a pie shop, or whatever we fancied, you know.
These men were so callous they took meal breaks while they tortured others. But the extent of their depravity goes beyond even this shocking detail. Many of their victims were drugged with a cocktail of alcohol and a powerful sedative to make them passive. But this very passivity spurred Bradbury and his associates on to even greater acts of brutality.
Charlie poured some of that stuff in. And he poured a lot of it in there. And the bloke now is a bit car. And Charlie gave him a smack, Frankie Fraser gave him a smack. And then, I don't know what happened, as I said, I still can't explain it to this day, what made me do it. I said to Charlie, "You got any pliers in your jaw?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to break his fucking toes. He won't tell us what's been going on." And Charlie gave me the pliers, and I just, you know, got his toes and bending them this way and just snapped them off. And then he was in such a thing with his stuff that was in his drink, he didn't even feel the fucking pain. So then I got annoyed. I took the knife and I cut half his ear off. And then he was more or less unconscious with this drink stuff. So Charlie said to me and Roy, "Oh, just shove him in the car and dump him at a fucking hospital somewhere." Which we did. We just took him for a ride and kicked him out and left him lying. I think they found him about 3 hours later in front of the hospital there. But I still can't tell you what made me turn vicious like that. Because, I mean, it's different to putting a bloke on a torture box. You know, it's just turning in a handle and it's more or less a big joke sort of thing. But when you get hold of a pair of pliers and break a bloke's toes, you know, just sit there doing it because you don't feel a fucking thing. And that's when I knew I was going the other way then.
In June 1967, the man who'd given the orders had to take some. Charlie Richardson was sentenced to 25 years for crimes of violence and demanding money with menaces. Eddie Richardson and Frank Fraser got 15 years apiece. Charlie expected the public to believe he'd been hard done by.
I snapped people about to try and obtain my own money back. There was no other people's monies involved here. I've never robbed a bank, I've never broken anybody's house, I've never robbed a security car, I've never blown anybody up with a bomb, I've never shot anybody with a shotgun. Yeah, I've got 25 years imprisonment. You know, I don't know what society or what the authorities are trying to do with me.
Society was making sure that gangsters got the message that they would no longer be allowed to get away with murder. The trial judge, Sir Frederick Lawton, is in no doubt that the punishment he gave Charlie Richardson fitted the crime.
The press are looking for good headlines, described it as the torture case. In my opinion, that was a fair description. That's really what it was about, the use of torture to obtain concessions. By the time I tried the Richardsons, I'd been in the law, what was it, for something like well over 30 years, spending most of my time, but not all of it, in the criminal courts. I'd never come across anything like this before.